Hello, welcome to another session of Engineering Economics 2373. Again, we're going to talk about applications, and particularly we're going to do an amortization table in Excel. So here we have a spreadsheet, and we're going to set up the parameters for the loan. Let's consider a present value, that is the amount of the loan, to be let's say 100,000. We're going to format this, and the interest rate is 5%. The number of periods, let's leave it at 5, and we're going to compute the same amortization table we have in the previous video. If you have not seen it, please see the theory on the amortization tables. So the first thing we need to know is the amount of the payment, that is the annuity, and we have a formula for that in Excel, which is PMT, and the rate is 5%, the number of periods is 5, and the present value, remember we have to use negative sign, make reference to the $100,000, and the amount of the payment is $23,097.48 So we have periods 1 through 5, and we have the initial balance. We have a payment, the total payment. We have the interest, the amount to reduce in the principal, and the ending balance. I can make this look a little nicer if I wrap the text. So I select wrapping the text, and this looks a little nicer now. Okay, so the initial balance will be always the initial balance that we have here, and the payment is always going to be that payment, and let's consider that to be fixed, so I can always make reference to that same amount. And the interest is going to be the interest rate, always the interest rate, in this case 5%, times the initial balance at the beginning of the period. And I can copy that formula. The reduction of principal is always going to be the total payment minus the interest, and the ending balance would be the initial balance minus the reduction of principal, and we can copy that formula. Finally, in order to finish this table, we can make reference to the ending balance in the previous year to take it as the initial balance in the following year, and I copy that. You can see that that the ending balance at the end of the last period is 0, and that's it. That's very easy to do. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to compute a larger amortization table. For that, I have prepared the spreadsheet already, and all I need to do is change the parameters here. So I have a present value. Let's consider a loan for a house. So how would we change this? Let's say that the amount that we need to pay, or the remaining balance in the payment of the house, is 200,000. And the interest rate that the bank offers you is maybe, say, 6%, but that would be 6% per year. Since you're going to be making payments every month, we need to compute the monthly interest rate. So 6% translates into only 6% divided by 12, translating to 0.005, or expressed in percentages, that is of course 0.05, 0.5%. So if we take that as the interest rate, then and the number of payments is for a typical mortgage for 30 years, was that translating to 360 payments. That means that you need to pay every month $1,199. So how does that looks like when we use for a real case on a mortgage for a house? Well, your initial balance is 200,000, and then your payment is $1,199.10. 5% of that is $1,000, and that means that you are able to reduce your debt by $199.10 in the first month. At the beginning of the second month, you owe $199,800.90. Again, you make a payment of $1,199, and now the amount of interest you need to pay is only $999, and the amount that you can reduce the principal by is $200.10. And at the end of the second month, you owe $9,600.80. And this process keeps going on, and if you do this, remember each one of these rows represent a month. So after 10 years, that's 120 months, you have a debt of $167,000. So after 10 years, that is 1/3 of the loan statement. You have paid barely $32,000 plus dollars, because most of the money is going to pay interest still. And this process keeps going on until you reach let's see, your the month 220, in which pretty much the things start to change. In month 222, you balance how much you pay in interest, how much you pay in towards the reduction of the principal, and from that moment on you start to reduce faster the principal. By the time you have 20 years paid, you still owe the 2/3 of the loan have elapsed, and you still owe $108,000. That is, you still owe more than 50% after 2/3 of the period for paying the loan has elapsed. And then fortunately, then later on you actually begin to really pay faster, because out of the $1,199, most of the money goes to reducing the principal. And if we keep doing this all the way down to 360, we end up not owing nothing. So this was an example of how to do this using amortization tables.